So today, yeah, yes, Dhruv, that is Krishna.
That is skin color in the picture.
So, so I was hearing my own recording. Um, all right. Okay. So this is first of all the topic we will cover today is um, Arjuna marrying Subhadra. So this happened before. So this is no, we are not discussing in sequence now because all this is happening in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Parikshit Maharaj. Anybody knows who Parikshit Maharaj is? So the whole Bhagavatam is narrated by a wonderful devotee of the Lord called Shuka or Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami is narrating this whole all these stories of Krishna and about devotees to Parikshit Maharaj, who is about to die in 7 days because he was cursed by a boy named Sringi. When Parikshit Maharaj went for hunting, he he was very thirsty and he went to um, a sage's home, and he found that the sage was meditating, but he was very thirsty, and he thought, I'm the king and you this person has to help me quench my thirst, but he is still meditating. So he got a little angry and he put a dead snake around the neck um, of that sage, and that and when the son of the sage came, he's like, who insulted my father by putting the snake on his neck? So I curse the person to die in 7 days by the bite of a snake. So so that's why Parikshit Maharaj is about to die in 7 days. So he wanted to know how he should prepare for death, and he that's why he is in the company of Shukadev Goswami, who knows what has to be done. And Sukadev Goswami is telling all these stories. So while he was telling all these stories that we were learning, then he suddenly asked, "So tell me about my grandfather, and how did he marry my grandmother? And who's Parikshit Maharaj's grandfather is who? Arjuna, right? Because Arjuna married Subhadra, and Subhadra's son was Abhimanyu, and Abhimanyu's son is Parikshit. Remember how Abhimanyu died in the war, and his
Yes,
wife
right.
Uttara was having a baby in her womb, and then the evil son of Drona, Ashwadhama, sent the Brahmastra to her womb. So there are so many stories. We have discussed long time back all these stories, but if I say all that, you might get confused. But all I'm trying to say here is the same Parikshit Maharaj, he wanted to know about his grandfather and how his grandfather and grandmother met. So Parikshit Maharaj is telling the story. And if you remember from our discussion in Mahabharata, Arjuna went on a pilgrimage for 12 years. If you remember, he went into the room of Yudhishthira and Draupadi, and there was a pact that the five brothers, when Draupadi is with one husband, Yudhishthira, for amount of time, that time no other brother can go into the room. So since he violated that agreement, the the punishment was to go for 12 years. So he was wandering around and going to different holy places for pilgrimage. So Arjuna was going to many places, and finally he came to Dwaraka, and there he saw Subhadra. Now Arjuna is dressed as a sannyasi, so he was just the sannyasi with a stick. They walk with a tridandi sannyasi, they're called. Tridandi means inside the big staff they have, there are 3 sticks, and each stick represents mind, body, and words. So they use their mind, body, and words only to glorify God. That's what a Tridandi sannyasi means. So he's a sannyasi, he's dressed as a sannyasi, and he comes there. But then when he sees Subhadra, he really he likes her and he'd like to marry her. And Subhadra also saw Arjuna, and she was really liking him. Now, Subhadra's brothers are both Krishna and Balram, right? So Balramji wanted Subhadra to marry Duryodhan, because Balramji's one of his favorite disciple is Duryodhan in mace fighting, right? So there was a big marriage ceremony being prepared for that. But then because Subhadra liked Arjuna, Krishna told Arjuna, hey, why don't you take Subhadra away and I'll take care of all the confusion here, because you both like each other, you should get married. So I'm telling you to take Subhadra to Indraprastha and go. Then Arjuna takes Subhadra in a chariot. That's what you see here. And actually Subhadra herself is riding the chariot while Arjuna is using his bow to fight everybody who is opposing him from going. So they left, and then Balramji was very, very angry, because he wanted Subhadra, his sister, to marry Duryodhan, and Arjuna just took her away. So he was thinking, I'm going to fight this Arjuna and I'm going to take him prisoner, and he was very angry. Then Krishna came and fell on Balramji's feet and said, oh Balramji, actually, oh Tauji, this our sister really likes Arjuna, so she wanted to marry Arjuna, and that's why they went away to get married, so you should not be angry. And then Balramji said, okay, if that was her wish, I respect that, and now I just want Arjuna to come and they get formally married. And so they got formally married with all the wonderful grandeur of a king. And that's how Arjuna married Subhadra, the sister of Krishna and Balram. And then Subhadra's son is Abhimanyu, that comes later. And then Abhimanyu's son is Parikshit Maharaj, who's asking this question. Okay, everybody clear about this story? Any questions? No? Okay. So then we discuss about Krishna. We come back to this time where Krishna is traveling around around Dwaraka, and he decides to go to Mithila. This is the same place that Ram's wife Sita was born, right? So Mithila. So he wanted to go to Mithila to meet 2 of his very, very good devotees. One is a rich king, and his name is Bahulasva. And then there is a very, very poor person who is called Srutadeva. So Bahulasva and Srutadeva. Krishna is showing that he doesn't care if you are very rich or very poor. He's really attracted to just your love for God. So you can be a very rich man or you can be a very poor man. It's just about how much you love the Lord. He will reciprocate. So he is actually going to the house of this rich king and this poor old Brahmin at the same time. You know, Krishna can expand himself to many forms. Anybody can tell when Krishna kind of made different copies of himself in the different pastimes we discussed? Nobody? Are you all there?
Now you can
Prabhuji.
see us.
So, does anybody remember when Krishna expanded himself? One is while dancing. Anybody remembers when he expanded himself to many forms? Okay, Nitinji is raising his hand.
In the pastime, he was dancing with gopis. So he
Yes,
different forms.
Yes, he expanded himself in many forms.
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Plus another time is whenever he married all the wives, he needed to take care of all of them, so that's why he expanded himself.
Hari Bol, very nice. For his 16,108 wives, he created 16,108 palaces, and he was present in each palace for each of his wife, taking care of them. Yes, very good. So similarly, we also discussed when he was going to marry one of his wives, one of his 8 principal wives, he had to expand himself into 7 forms to subdue 7 bulls. We had discussed that also, right? So that's another time. So this is another time when he expanded himself into 2, and one form went to the king and one form went to the poor Brahmin. So this and Krishna went with all the great rishis: Narada, Vamadeva, Atri, Vyasadeva, Parashurama, Asita, Aruni, Sukadeva, Brahaspati, Kanva, and Maitreya and Chavana. And there were others as well. So these were the main rishis who went with Krishna. And these rishis are very exalted. They can also expand themselves. So they also went to Bahulasva's home, and they also went to the poor man's home. And in the king's home or the palace, Krishna was given great jewels, and they were washing Krishna's feet and putting the water on their head. So similarly, in the poor man's home also the same thing, but they were not given big thrones and cushions to sit on. It was just a wooden plank with a straw mat and those kind of very austere setting. But Krishna enjoyed both equally, because the devotees of the Lord, they express their love, and it doesn't matter with what they're expressing. So so the king really took care of Krishna and all the sages, and the king was giving very, very, very nice food to Krishna, with a lot of different dishes, and the poor man was giving just rice and dal, and Krishna ate from both places with the same amount of pleasure. So this just shows that Krishna is really interested in our devotion. So this Brahmin who received Krishna was also very, very happy, and you see him dancing when Krishna is coming to his home. And similarly, the king was also the same way. So it's just showing the different devotees of the Lord and how happy they are to receive the God and receive God at their homes. And today, if you want to receive God, Krishna is present as his picture or as a deity. So we can, if we pray to the deity or a picture as Krishna is here, he will receive that prayer. So similarly, we can also welcome Krishna into our heart and to our homes. Okay, and then this Srutadeva Parikshit Maharaj had a few other questions. He was asking about the Vedas, and he was asked. Sorry, go ahead. Any questions on this pastime? Bahulasva and Srutadeva pastime? Okay. So just one more aspect we'll discuss today, and then we'll go to the Kahoot. So this is the story where Sukadeva Goswami, who's hearing all this, who's narrating all the story to Parikshit Maharaj, was asked a question. So Parikshit Maharaj asked a question: Is the Lord a person, or is he energy? As the Vedas say that it's Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. Is that God that everybody is meditating on, or does he have a form like us? Does he have hands, ears, nose, and all that? So who can answer that question? So what do you think? Is God energy, or is God having a form, or both?
Both.
Yes, very good. Yeah, so if you say the Lord only has energy, then the Lord is deficient, right? He's not complete. So he has a form, and his energy is impersonal. So there are certain sannyasis who just meditates on the divine energy of the Lord. That's called Brahman realization. So they only understand God as energy, and they want to merge with that energy, and they say that I am God because they're part of God. When they merge with that, they'll become the with that light. They will just become a particle in that light, and then they say they are God. But that is not a wrong understanding, but it's an incomplete understanding. But you can understand God as a person also, and that is what devotees like, because we like to see the Lord in his personal form. And so this was explained, that though the Vedas talk about the energy of the Lord, the Brahman realization, the highest realization of God is the Bhagavan realization. And so that question was answered by Srutadeva Goswami, and he was not just answering just what he felt like, because we also can have multiple opinions about something, but all this information we have to substantiate with scriptures. So Sukadeva Goswami said there was this was told to me by Narada Muni, and Narada Muni heard it from Narnarayana Rishi, and this was discussed by the Sanat Kumaras. So nobody's manufacturing any of these answers. They are always referring to their higher source who told them this information. So sometimes we are told different theories by different people, but that's just from their own thinking and imagination. But if it comes all the way from God, then it is a credible source. They're not changing what God wanted to say. So the Vedas are saying the same thing as what Sukadeva Goswami was telling Parikshit Maharaj, that the Lord in his form, how he creates the whole universe. There is Krishna's form as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. He when he breathes in, he takes all the universes in. So at that time, everything is unmanifest. There's no creation. And then when he breathes out, all these different universes are created. And the Vedas are praying to the Lord. At the time when nothing exists, they're praying, oh Supreme Lord, we don't know about you, because you are the Param Purusha, and you are the only person who knows about this entire thing, because you are the creator. So they're just praying to the Lord, and then he creates the universe, and he fills the universe with living organisms, and that's how the evolution actually happens. So this was the discussion they had, and the Vedas are praying to Mahavishnu, and all these details were told to Parikshit Maharaj by Sukadeva Goswami. So anybody knows what are the 4 Vedas? It's in the picture. You can even read from there.
Rig Veda,
No, hold on. Chaitra ji has raised her hand.
Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda.
Yes, these are the 4 Vedas. Very good. And these were compiled by Vedavyas. And Vedavyas' son is Sukadeva Goswami. All right. So there we can end today's class. We are actually at almost at the end of this whole session, because we are reading from. If you can see me, this is the book we are reading from. It's called Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is compiled by Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So we are finishing this big book which has 90 chapters. We have finished until 87th chapter now. So there are 3 more chapters we'll finish in next class. So very good everyone for completing such a long session and coming every week, because we can only learn little bit every week, and then we covered such a big body of knowledge. Okay, so that brings us to the Kahoot. Everybody ready for Kahoot?
Prabhuji,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
I heard that it is said that Devi Radha came to Dwaraka whenever Krishna was there after finishing her responsibilities.
Yeah, so I think you're talking about, there's a Radha Krishna serial where they mentioned that Radharani came to Dwaraka. It is not mentioned in Bhagavatam like that. So I don't want to speculate. And actually, Radharani's pastimes are very, very secret and esoteric. So, according to Bhagavatam, Radharani never goes to Dwaraka. So it is another version where they are saying that Radharani came to Dwaraka and was there when Krishna got married to the 16,108 wives and all that. Okay?
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji.
All right. Okay, let's start now. There are only 10 questions. Okay, Ayana. So the pin is 7559620. Okay, Ashmita ji is in. Somebody is in. Krishna is in. What? 7559620. Is everybody able to join? Looks like there are 6 participants and only 3 of you have joined the Kahoot.
No, I can't seem to get in.
Why? Are you going to kahoot.it? If you go to either use the Kahoot app or kahoot.it. Okay. Okay.
Wait for me.
Yeah, Dhruv, we are waiting for you. We won't be starting without you, Dhruvji. Nine 620. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashmita.
Okay, who's Tortek?
Sorry.
That must be Dhruv. Okay, we can start. Can we? Ready, everyone? Dhruv, can we start?
Let me. Okay, it's all right to start now.
Okay, good. Okay, who is the grandmother of Parikshit Maharaj? Uttara, Subhadra, Draupadi, Gandhari. Yes, very good, Subhadra. Okay, Santoshi first place, Krishna, Radha Chaitraji, Tortek and somebody. Okay, who married Subhadra, sister of Krishna and Balram? Yudhishthira, Duryodhana, Arjuna, Bhima. Arjuna, very good. Okay, Ashmita ji is on the board. Third question. Why was Arjuna in Dwaraka disguised as a sannyasi? Arjuna was on a pilgrimage. Arjuna was fulfilling his vow to be in exile for 12 years. Arjuna wanted to marry Subhadra, all of the above. Yes. Whoa, all of you got it right. Very good. So happy. Okay. Who helped Arjuna take Subhadra away from before her wedding? Balram, Krishna, Vasudev, Ugrasen. Krishna, very good. Subhadra and Arjun's son was named Abhimanyu, Srutasena, Lakshmana, Ram. Abhimanyu, very good. Abhimanyu's son is Parikshit Maharaj. Okay. True or false? Parikshit Maharaj's father is Abhimanyu. Yes, true. Okay. Balrama did not accept Arjuna as his brother-in-law after Krishna spoke to Balram about Subhadra liking Arjuna. Oh. Yeah. True or false? Yes. It's false because Balrama accepted Arjuna once he knew that actually Subhadra liked Arjuna and wanted to marry him. Okay. Krishna, along with the sages, visited which king in Mithila? Duryodhana, Jarasandha, Bahulasva, Shishupala. These were the two devotees about which we discussed in the class. Yes, Bahulasva. Second last question. Krishna visited which poor Brahmin at the same time he visited Bahulasva? Dama, Drona, Vasishta, Srutadeva. Yeah, Srutadeva. Last question, everyone. Who was Maharaj Parikshit asking about the position of the Vedas and Supreme Lord? Narada, Naranarayana Rishi, Srutadeva Goswami, Sanat Kumara. Yes, Sukadeva Goswami. That was the discussion that was happening, and that's what is the Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj asking questions to Sukadev Goswami, and Sukadev Goswami's narration is captured in the Bhagavatam. Okay, let's see who's on the podium. Third place goes to Santosh Ji, Hari Bol. Second place goes to Krishna. And first place goes to Ashmita Ji. Congratulations. Then fourth place goes to Radha Chaitra Ji. Fifth place is Tortek or Dhruv, I guess. So, very good. Everyone who played are winners. So, congratulations. And thank you for attending. I think the devotees from India didn't join today because their final exams are going on. So, but very good to have all of you. Okay. So see you all next week. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Namaste, Priyanka.
नमस्ते. हरे
Namaste,
कृष्णा.
Prabhuji.
हरि बोल.
Bye.
हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna.